some other dimensions. According to yoga, there are 24 interlocking spheres of existence. There are 24 spheres of existence where there are beings, some of them like us, some of them not like us, and many of these so-called reports of alien encounters are actually people who for whatever reason slipped into that other dimension. Now it is not one sphere within the other, it is all simultaneously existing at just slightly different planes of vibration. And when you are deep in meditation or you advance that much, you can start accessing those other places. So the devas and the Swarga or Amravati or whatever it is you wish to call it, and Naraka or hell or whatever, those are all different planes of vibration. And they're all very wonderful, but the problem is karma does not move except on Mrityu Loka, which is what our world is called.
Mrityu Loka.
Mrityu Loka. Because death happens here. So to be a god is not a very great thing in our culture. If you do enough good deeds, you get a promotion and then you get a job. It's a job designation. It's a title. You can be an Indra. An Indra only means the leader or the best in that field or that sphere. Somebody else with greater qualifications, that means better karma comes along, that person can be fired and you get promoted to that job. So in our mythology, there are multiple stories where people are doing tapasya and Indra gets scared or the gods get scared. Because gods do get deposed and people do get promoted or demoted or whatever. The gods also get tired. If you don't want to go to heaven, you want to be worshipped, you want to be loved, you can actually decide. I want to be a god sitting on a temple and people can come to me and praise me and make offerings to me. That also is perfectly possible. Because what we call gods, what we call devas, deva or devi literally means shining. They glow, they shine with the energy that they have created. They are energy beings, or in the classification of Sri Aurobindo, they are vital beings. They are not human, but they are neither are they the last form or the highest attainment. They are in transition. They are in transition to the final form of divinity. So you can become one of them and you can sit in a mountaintop somewhere and have pilgrims come and do puja and then you get bored and then you say, okay, that's it, I want out. If somebody is willing to take up that responsibility, you get out. Then people complain. Nowadays we don't get that same feeling when we come to the temple. That's because the vital being sitting over there has quit. And there is a new person sitting there and the new person is still learning the job. So in many so-called powerful places, the power that we are experiencing is not the power of the place, it is a vital being sitting there. Our psychic energy is drawn by that vital being and occasionally little bit is given. Even if you grant 1 in 100 the wish, reputation builds. No, I'm just explaining how it works. In yoga, all these things are well known. In yoga, all these things are well known. They know very well that that's not really God. That's something that is aspiring to be God. That is a vital being that is aspiring to be God. It is not even a divinity. So to be a deva is really not regarded as a very worthy ambition. To be a deva is not regarded as a very worthy ambition. And to be a vital being, the other problem with the vital being is most of them are quite nice, many of them are quite nasty. So those are the demonic or the asuric or the rakshasic and they too are worshipped and they too give benefits and they too give. Now all that is not necessary to get into. The problem with worshipping vital beings is that beyond a point they don't want you to grow because their power depends on your worship. Now throughout history people have been worshipping gods. Were they all stupid? Were they all illiterate or were they all mistaken? If you are a Christian fundamentalist or a Muslim, you would say yes. They were not stupid. They were worshipping vital beings, they were getting responses, but today those gods are dead. You only have to go to Egypt or to Greece or to Rome and you can see those were vital beings who no longer have worshippers. Or Thor or Odin or any of the Celtic gods or any of the peculiar gods that used to exist in the Middle East or extreme east of Europe. They all had what they thought were supreme gods or powerful gods, and the worship has stopped. In India, this story of worship has been going on for 5,000 years, so we have a deeper and stronger relationship. But the truth is, except for Shiva, who is something else altogether, maybe when I talk about Shiva, I'll talk about it. Except for Shiva, almost any other form of Devi Devta that we see is fundamentally a vital being. I am not saying they can't help you. I am not saying it is not good to worship. If you have ever read David Foster Wallace, he had given this great commencement speech. It is called "This is Water," and I suggest either you Google YouTube or you just Google David Foster Wallace "This is Water." And he had said something very interesting there. He said, "It is better that you worship a recognized form of divinity because everybody worships. If you don't worship a recognized form of divinity, you will end up worshipping things like the body, fame, money, power, success. And when, as they inevitably start dwindling or leaving you, what he said is they eat you alive. So what you worship is very important because everybody worships." So the ultimate level of Godhead, when it is in a personal form, it is called the Purushottama. The ultimate man, the Purusham Uttam, it's called the Purushottama, and the abstract form of it, Sri Aurobindo called it the force long before George Lucas called it the force. That is the power, the Shakti that acts, and then there is a non-classifiable aspect. There is an aspect where words are insufficient and experiences are insufficient, and that is called the Brahman. That is the Brahman, not Brahma.
Oh, Brahman.
Yeah, that is called the Brahman. So that actually is the foundation of all the gods and the Devis and the Devtas and everything.